Hello guys, welcome in. So I kind of slept in today, and I'm doing this before coffee or anything, but I kind of wanted to get this down because I asked Freyja for a dream last night. And of course, with the radio on, I never dream in my sleep, and this was no different. I didn't dream. I woke up super early because the goddamn radio, they just run at the mouth sometimes, right? Turn it off, get up for a second, go back to bed because it was super early. There was no sense being up that early. And I had this dream of being on this bus. Maybe it was red and white, whatever color it was. It really doesn't matter, silver or something, I don't know. But we were all in it, traveling all these beautiful places, and the dream hadn't actually started in the bus. It started in this beautiful, kind of wooded, kind of almost like all the kind of wooded climates in the real place. And there were all these different kind of beautiful buildings and architecture, and in the winter it was a ski lodge and it was very beautiful. And I got the idea I was kind of like there on a vacation, but I was also welcome to stay there. You could come here and you could vacation because it was so beautiful, but you could stay there too, and you could live there. And if you lived there, life was really casual and easy. So Freya answered me. But as I'm walking around this beautiful place and I'm seeing all this beautiful stuff, and then later on you kind of transition to the bus somehow, I got the idea that, we make life way, way too complicated. That was Freya's message to me. It was, you humans, you take every cause. Remember, this is God is connected with warfare. You take every cause and you put it on your back. And the really healing part, this was healing, but the really healing part was I'm on that bus and none of us are wearing masks. None of us. And we're just enjoying it. Remember that? Yeah, I don't remember it either. And we're all enjoying it. We're all enjoying it. It's not even an issue until like the very end when we're all being dropped off. And for some reason we're near me being dropped off, but I can continue on. We can party on this bus forever. Um I remember I say, "Oh my gosh, I forgot my mask," but then I remember it's in my pocket, and I'm like, should I take off my mask? Should I like pull my shirt off? Should I try to like take my bra off and make a mask? And everyone else looks at me really disapprovingly, and then suddenly they have a mask on, but the mask really, I realized if I hadn't mentioned it, it wouldn't even been an issue. It wouldn't have even existed. And I'm sure that's her way of letting me know everything's going to be right. Everything's going to work out. Because I saw something about Dr. Fauci yesterday. He was on. And I loved this man until yesterday. Yesterday I could have strangled him. He's basically saying, well, the numbers are getting better. Well, it seems to be getting better. All of a sudden, that second wave isn't coming. All of a sudden, because the woman kept pressing him and saying, look, you had us all hiding in our houses for months. Now for over a week, we've had marches all around the world at this point. Why aren't we having a global pandemic? And this was one of those channels friendly to him, keep in mind. She's like, you always keep telling us 3 days to 2 weeks. Why aren't we seeing all these people then in the hospital? This is what you warned us about. This is what you convinced us about. This is why we were all staying at home willingly. He really didn't have an answer to where he said it just appears to be going away. And I thought, you mean... And the woman looked the same way. I'm thinking, you mean we took all the money we spent on usually living the good life, you know what I mean, like going out for a video game or a movie or getting Cokes or something, and we all stockpiled stuff we didn't have to? Is that what you're telling me? You tell me I have a year's worth of toilet paper and a year's worth of soap now because you were wrong? And we didn't have to social distance at all? Is that what you're telling me? We didn't have to shut down the economy, and we didn't have to hide in our houses, and we could have seen all the old people. We didn't have to miss out on birthdays and parties and all this other stuff. Is that what you're telling me now? Because that's what it sounds like. And he really wouldn't elaborate. And I thought, if you were wrong, people are gonna kill you, and I'm not calling for this. He was wrong, he was wrong, but I'm like, if all you scientists were wrong, people are gonna kill you. And then when something does go wrong, we're not gonna listen to them. And I'm not saying, by the way, don't wear a mask, go out and be in a huge party. But it was awful weird. Weren't we all holding our breath when these marches first started? We were all like, oh, those brave people, they're willing to die, but then the rest of us are gonna die. Oh my God, well, it's been nice knowing you. And then the 3 days had passed, and then over a week had passed. And once over 2 weeks has passed, we'll all be looking around at each other like, what's going on? And now they're trying to tell us it's mysteriously dying out, even though they were assuring us it would never die out, we'd never be rid of it, and it would just surge in the fall. Remember surging in the fall? Do you remember this? Do you remember being told it would surge in the fall? I don't know. Please do not go out now and do something stupid and put yourself at risk. But I was like, wait a minute. You have been telling us this whole time, and you had us all convinced with science yet, that we all had to stay apart forever, and we all have to still keep 6 feet apart and wear a mask and do all this other stuff and change our lifestyles forever. All these restaurants and all these businesses spent all this money to retrofit stuff and rip out seating and all this other stuff. What's going on? So I am, again, guys, I am not advocating absolute anarchy and everybody having huge parties, but it felt like that shows us how little we do know as a species. And I think Freyja was trying to make her point of, look, you did all this stuff, you stockpiled all this food, not a huge amount, but enough because they were telling us the world was going to end in chaos practically, right? With all these upswings in illness, it was going to be harder to get out to get food and everything. So it's not a crazy stockpile, but I don't have to buy food for the rest of the month. And, they were telling us, it would be harder to get this and it would be harder to get that. And then as they changed their mind, they said, well, hand sanitizer doesn't work quite that well. What? You can find hand sanitizer everywhere now. And they changed their mind about other stuff, and now you can find Clorox and toilet paper and everything else everywhere. And they'll change their mind about other stuff too. And it's been a really kind of like, we all sacrifice for nothing. That's what it feels like. We'll never know now because they can try to come back to us with the science, and they broke trust with us, right? They can try to come back to us now with the science, and I believe them, and I think a lot of you believe them too. And say, but look, we were right. And we'll be like, no, because these people are marching in these huge not parades, these huge marches, which they should be because civil rights were taken away from people, and we should be marching for change. But how come we're not having an absolute pandemic and the world's not actually on fire? I knew something was wrong when they started to say that outside was magical. And that was why it wasn't going to spread in the summer if you had gatherings with other people. I'm like, outside doesn't magically fix things. There isn't this steady, constant breeze outside. There is oxygen outside, but there isn't this steady breeze that always magically blows in the right direction so that you can be around other people. It would be physically impossible. The wind would have to be blowing every direction at once. I'm like, they don't know, do they? They don't know, but I kept it to myself, and now they're saying it's tapering off, it's going away. So I know, and I kind of looked at Freyja this morning because I agreed to work with her a lot more closely because we're trying an all-Norse household yet again for a while. And I said, I stockpiled for nothing, didn't I? She says, why do you think we were pressuring you? Odin got a club yesterday, and they pushed the other families out, and Freyja got a bunch of games too. And, it wasn't a huge amount of money. It really wasn't. Mammy wouldn't have let us spend a penny, but, Freyja was like, well, his values aren't our values. There are ones in the family that are very financially strict. If they have to put their hand down, they will. But, she was scolding me. She goes, he was talking to you about building up your business and acting like you're going to build an empire or something. And you know what? She's like, no, we don't raise our people to do that. You can be successful. There's nothing wrong with it. You can go on to become the next Walt Disney, that's fine. But, well, don't be that horrible to your workers, please. But, yay, back here. But you don't have to always have a thriving success. You can be okay. You can be head above water your whole life. As long as your head is above water, you're fine. Again, hallelujah back here. And I think that's it. We've all kind of been convinced that if we're not all ultra rich and we're not all ultra successful, we have somehow failed. And usually, as you have seen from a lot of YouTubers and a lot of other people, getting there destroys a lot of people. They would have been better off had they remained a little hungry, and you know what I mean, a little hungry, had to keep working at it, had to keep applying themselves, had to keep their head above water. Because that seemed to be the only thing keeping them out of mischief. When they no longer had to work at that, they made some bad life decisions. So maybe that's it. The gods are like, yep, you would not handle being rich. I'm starting to think that way because Freyja is a goddess of riches and wealth and everything. Now, again, that does not mean, and I work with tons of wealth deities. Generally, that does not mean that the moment you start working with them or you try to have a relationship with them, they go, yeah, lottery win. That does not mean that. If somebody told you that, they may be full of shit too. So please keep that in mind. Even if it were true, it's not going to happen in the vast majority of cases. Look how many people, for example, win the lottery that are probably consider themselves Christian. Doesn't mean being a Christian means you're going to win the lottery. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. I know that was rambly and sounded anti-science, but I'm like just so mad. And Freya's like, well, you don't have to buy food for the rest of the month. There's that. And now we feel relaxed about going outside because our county went into green yesterday, which means businesses and everything can all be back open. We didn't want to go out the day of because it would be crazy, and Saturdays would be kind of crazy too. But you know, it's kind of like they're kind of shrugging, saying they don't know with this virus, and I think that's what it is. It wasn't the science was wrong, but in science you also reach a conclusion you're looking for. So they were looking to see just how infectious it could be, just how dangerous it could be, and that's what they found, and that was great. But it's a new virus, it's a novel virus, so we don't know everything yet. I'm not saying it was bad that we sheltered in place and everything. I'm just asking now, did we have to? Because you have to do that in science. After you've run the experiment, you have to go back and look at it and go, well, did we have to do this? Would it have made a difference if we had not sheltered? Would it have made a difference if people had lost their minds? Now we'll never know because the experiment's already run, right? So, in some alternate universe, it can tell us the answer. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.